Good evening and welcome to the Livonia City Council. The Honorable Catherine White will lead us in the pledge, and she has some guests as well. Councilwoman White.
Yes, I think the Boy Scouts and Mr. Clint Anderson, who is a 108-year-old resident of Livonia, are going to join me. Oh, I'm sorry. Clint Anderson, 108, and the Boy Scouts, if you want to join me in the pledge, that would be great.
All set?
Hang on, wait for the boys.
And 1 minute.
Come on up, boys.
Come on up, gentlemen. Right up here.
The long, big, happy
By Mr.
family.
Anderson?
Yep, right over there.
Go.
Parents, you can come down here.
Yeah, come on now. Come on now, guys. We got more Boy Scouts out there. Come on.
Get them all down here.
Yeah, let's
Come on
go.
down here. Come on.
Hang on, we got 3 more coming.
Yep. Gentlemen, if you'll go maybe right around that way.
The other right.
I pledge allegiance
Wow.
Thank you. The chairs are kind of slippery. Thank you very much, Councilwoman White. We'd like to welcome you to the 1,883rd regular meeting of the Livonia City Council. This is indeed a voting meeting. This meeting will be approved at the next regular meeting, which will be scheduled on Wednesday, November the 6th of this year. Will the clerk take the roll? But I do want to announce that Councilman Scott Barr will not be with us tonight. He's attending his daughter's choir concert at Stevenson High School and will not be joining us. Go right ahead,
Councilmember White,
here.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Here?
Councilmember Meekin,
Here?
Vice President Jolly,
Tell him to wait a minute.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Present.
President Toy.
Here. Bring Clint back, because we gotta make a little special. If I was 108, I'd want to be special tonight too, right? Yeah.
We'll make
Okay.
sure you are.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Vice President Jolly. Just let us go through a little bit of business, and then we're gonna get to Clint in a minute. Can you hold on? Sure. Okay. All right, council, presentation of the minutes of the 1,882nd regular meeting of the council, which was held on Monday, October 7th. Councilwoman,
I would like to move approval with changing of the verbiage that's noted on our notes, just a
Correct.
minor point, to remove the words appropriation and appropriate and increasing the estimated total contract from 564 to 589,000, such additional amount being.
okay, this does not, supported by Councilman Kritzman.
It's a small language change.
It's a verbiage change, as you have said, so thank you. We have those corrections, correct?
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, if there's no one else on that, then would the clerk, Nash, please take the roll?
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin,
Aye.
Vice President Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes. Council, we are on to announcements, tributes, and recognition, and I'm going to call on Councilwoman Kathleen McIntyre for a special tribute.
All right, we'd like to ask, I think, Father Aiden and Father Kevin and the members of the St. Aidan Parish who are here with him tonight to please come up here. And I'm going to read this as you come up. and then we'll come up and just right up here, just, there you go.
There you are.
Anyway, this is from the city of Livonia, and we always start with a quote that we all like. I like to see the people proud of the place in which they live. I like to see people live so that their place will be proud of them. That's certainly true of St. Aidan Parish. This certificate is presented to St. Aidan Church on the event of its 80th anniversary. On behalf of the city of Livonia, Michigan, please accept our gratitude for your commendable service to our community since 1939. Your commitment to our community is greatly appreciated, and it's signed by the mayor and all the members of the city council. And before we do a photo, Chief, would you like to say a few words? Chief Kurt Cade.
Thank you, Council. Just very briefly, I just want to make a couple comments. First, 80 is something to be proud of, but 108 is, that's quite a run. But as most of you know, Father Kevin is one of our chaplains at the police department, and he dedicates so much of his time to us and our families in the services that we perform for the city. And I want to certainly thank him and thank the parish for loaning him out to us on a frequent basis. It means a great deal, not only to our community, but certainly to the police department. We appreciate the dedication of all the parishioners at St. Aidan's and what they bring to the police department. And I see Father Bill here from St. Mike's, and I don't want to forget about him either. St. Mike's is a great supporter as well. So congratulations. And
Election year.
it is an election year, but I'm not running. Yeah.
All right, why don't
Thank you for the
council
time.
come up and.
Yeah,
we
we're
get
going to have a picture. Council, if we want to flip over to the other side.
So am I.
Hey, man, go in 2 rows.
I think we're gonna have to make a few rows here. Where's our official retire for coming down here? All right, let's see. You're fine. Sheldon? Yeah, we gotta get in here a little bit more. Sorry.
Hey, everyone's mouth the paparazzi here.
Can we see, is there anyone we can't see? You got everybody, or we need to squish in more?
Well, we're losing Kurt, we got him.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. We're gonna get up again.
My parishioners know that I'm not a man of few words, but this isn't Sunday, so you're in luck. I just want to thank all of you for this honor. Our parish is very much committed to the city of Livonia, and we thank you for your service. I'd like to thank especially Chief Cade for the work, the dedication of our police department. Also remembering Chief Heavener and our fire department and all the great work that they do for all of us. So thank all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do. And now we've saved one of the very best till last, and that is our tribute, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson, yo. We'd like you to come up and let's give you the mic for a minute. Can you tell us the secrets to living till 108, please?
What is the secret to living to 108?
Here's a mic right here.
Yes, just try to get another day.
Busy.
Huh?
Keep
Yeah.
busy. Keep busy.
Yeah, keep busy.
Always moving.
You know, it's a great life. You gotta sleep a lot.
Yeah, sleep a lot? Okay, council, let's,
I
another
was with,
photo here.
in the Pacific with Douglas MacArthur.
What happened?
But I never see him.
He was in the Pacific with Douglas MacArthur. Can you tell the young people who Douglas MacArthur was?
Well, it was a great life, but
Who was Douglas MacArthur?
he was a general. Fourth class general.
Well, we're very honored to have you here tonight, Clint, and your two daughters and your son-in-law.
That was nice. It was nice to have me down here, to tell you the truth.
His grandson?
His grandson, Steve. How many grandchildren do you have, Clint?
Pardon?
How many grandchildren do you have? You lost count?
Somewhere near 12 of them, I guess, or 14.
7 grandchildren, about 5 great-grandchildren, and 3 great-great-great. One on the way.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, well,
Well, Clint, God bless you, and we wish you many, many more years in Livonia,
yeah.
okay?
What is that?
She wishes you many, many more years
Huh?
in Livonia. She wishes you many, many more years in Livonia.
Oh, well, thank you.
And don't forget to pay your taxes.
Well-
Okay, here we go. Apparently it is. That's it. All right, here we go. Come on, Juju.
Why'd you get in the picture?
Yeah, come on in. Here, I can use that. I may never get up again. Well, this is a nice car you got here. Is this your grandson? Yep. All right, we got everybody?
Get down to the police chief.
Thank you.
All right, Tony, okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
It's only downhill from here.
It's, yeah. That was perfect. Who's General MacArthur? Okay.
I don't know.
All of a sudden find out that you got a guy who's 108.
She keeps a Rolodex.
Exactly. That was hilarious.
He was 108, and I said, you gotta come to council.
Seriously?
Thank you, council. Thank you, everyone. That was really special. Was there any more tributes or announcements that we have from the council? Seeing none, then we'll introduce our department heads. To my right is Paul Bernier. Paul is our city attorney. Thank you, Paul, for all the work you do. To his right is Susan Nash, who is our city clerk. To my left is Todd Zelinsik. Todd does our engineering for our city, and he does a great job, as well as Mark Taramina, who is our city planner and economic director. And to the other side of Mark there is Judy Preby, who has to put up with all 7 of us. So she's our Director of Legislative Affairs. Thank you all for everything you do for our city day in and day out. And also in our audience is the Honorable Dennis Wright, our Mayor of Livonia. Thank you for being here. And of course, our Chief and our Parks and Rec Director and our City Finance Director as well. So thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. Council, we have new data on items 7 and 8, and I'm going to now go to the clerk who wanted to say something about some upcoming event.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I just want to remind everyone that we have a city election 2 weeks from tomorrow on November 5th. The polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. Absentee ballots may be obtained until 4 p.m. on Monday, November 4th. Last year, we had a Proposal 3. With the passing of Proposal 3, citizens may now register to vote up until 8 p.m. on Election Day. And as of tomorrow, you have to register to vote in the city clerk's office to be able to vote in this election. So if you come to my office, we can get you registered to vote. You'll be given a receipt. You can either get an absentee ballot, or you can take it to the polls on Election Day. And on Election Day, you can come here and register to vote. You can choose to stay here, and we'll give you a ballot here, or you can take the receipt and go back to the precincts. Also, on Election Day, because of the passing of Proposal 3, the city clerk's office will be handling only election business. We'll be closed to everything else, just handling election business on Election Day only. And if there's any questions, if anyone has any questions regarding elections, please call my office and call 734-466-2235. Again, if anyone has any questions regarding elections, please call my office, 734-466-2235. Thank you very much, and I hope to see everyone on Election Day.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We appreciate it. Now we will go to audience communication. Anyone wishing to speak to any item that's not on the green sheet, our agenda for this evening, please approach the podium to my left or to my right, and council will be happy to hear what you have to say. Council, I see no one coming, and I hear no one coming, so we will move into our regular agenda. There's a communication from the Department of Finance dated September 27th of this year, a quarterly investment report of the City of Livonia as of August 31st of this year, and that, Madam Clerk, will be received and filed. We also now have items 1 through 5, which are listed on our consent agenda. They will be voted on as one item. This does not mean that they are any less important than any of the other items, but they have deemed not to be controversial in nature. Do I have a motion on 1 through 5?
Madam President,
Yes,
I'll offer an approving resolution for the consent agenda.
thank you.
Support.
I have support by Councilwoman McIntyre, moved by Vice President Jolly. Okay, would the clerk please take the roll on the consent?
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin,
Aye.
Vice President Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes. Council, we're under unfinished business. These were meetings of the committee, and in Councilman Barr's absence, we have the very capable City Councilwoman Catherine White.
Thank you,
Give a
Madam
report.
Chair. The Finance and Budget Committee met on Wednesday, September 25th. The, as indicated, Councilmember Barr chairs the committee. I serve as vice chair, and Jim Jolly is also on that committee. There were all council members attended the committee, as well as many elected officials and department heads. And one resident, Jim Davis, was there as well. Our meeting commenced at 7:03. We were looking at the 2019 assessment data, as well as the proposed budget for next year. Some of the highlights are that our proposed city tax rate will be a little bit over 13.35 mils, which is 3.9% less than the current year. We are proud to say we're the second lowest in Wayne County with regard to our city tax rate. And the rate next year will include a half-mil reduction in our refuse millage. We are projecting that general fund operating revenues will increase by about 2.7%. We are expecting more money from the state, from state shared revenues, which will be about an increase of about 3.5%. And we spent a lot of time at the committee looking at the proposed capital expenditures. There is a budgeted amount of 3.2 from the general fund, 3.2 million, as well as 3.7 million from the capital projects fund. And 10.1 million is budgeted for road construction projects within the city of Livonia, just city dollars. We have been told that there will be a new software app coming out in soon for reporting ordinance violations. And the committee also discussed in great detail how to handle facilities management, knowing that we have so many city buildings and a need to make sure that the issues with our city buildings are handled properly. So as a result of the meeting, the committee is recommending that we receive and place on file the city's preliminary budget documents for fiscal year 2019-20, as well as receive and place on file the supplement to the preliminary budget for 2019-2020 personnel worksheets. And there are a number of resolutions that need to be adopted tonight with respect to the budget. The first is a resolution which would approve the annual budget as submitted by the mayor for the next fiscal year, which begins December 1st of this year and goes through the end of November of 2020. So the committee is looking for a motion to approve the budget.
Support.
Moved by Councilwoman White, supported by Councilman Meekin. Was there discussion? Hearing no discussion from the council, anyone from the audience wishing to speak to the item? Hearing and seeing no one, Madam Clerk, will you take the roll?
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin,
Aye.
Vice President Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes.
Madam Chair, I also move that the prepared resolution to adopt the city millage rates be approved as well.
I'll second that.
Moved by Vice President, or supported by Vice President Jolly, supported, moved by Councilwoman White. Was there discussion? Is there discussion from the audience? Hearing and seeing no one from the audience, Madam Clerk, will you take the vote?
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin,
Aye.
Vice President Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes.
That concludes my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you, excellent. And we do have those receiving files, Madam Clerk, as well. Then, thank you, excellent report, good news for the city as well. Thank you, Mayor Wright and your administration for all the hard work you do day to day, sir. Thank you. All right, well, council, with that done, which is a big part of our job and the mayor's job as well, we will move on to item 7, and there's new data that we'll receive and file on that as well, Madam Clerk, from October 9th of this year. Do I have a motion on rezoning petition?
Madam President,
Yes.
I'll offer first reading.
Okay, thank you. You are hearing first reading from Councilman Meekin on a piece of property between Middlebelt and Clarita on 7 Mile in the northeast quarter of Section 11, from parking to C1 local business. Alrighty. Okay, so first reading, Madam Clerk. Is there any comment on that before we move to item 8? Hearing and seeing no one, item 8 is a request to increase athletic fees, archery pass fees, and new rental fees. And we have a letter from Parks and Rec, October 9th. We'll receive and file that as well.
Madam President,
Yes, please, go right ahead.
I'll offer an approving resolution.
Council Vice President Jolly is offering approving. Do I have support on
Support.
that? Supported by Councilwoman McIntyre. Is there discussion from the council?
Madam
at this
President,
point? Yes, please,
if I
go
can
ahead.
comment for a couple
Yes,
minutes
please.
here. So when we had our study meeting, I asked for a breakdown of the numbers in regards to 2 of the programs in particular, the T-ball and coach pitch programs, and also the archery numbers, just so we can get a look at what the cost of the programs was from a city perspective, and then also see, I don't want to say whether or not the raised fees, whether or not they were justified, but oftentimes on council here, we see broad numbers, we see broad funding. And when it comes to baseball in particular, I'm familiar with the program as a coach and as a parent, but seeing the particular program numbers makes sense and sometimes connects the dots that we don't normally see. I'll focus on the baseball numbers in particular here. Mr. Davis and his people have provided a rundown of the program costs. It shows that based on the current fees, there is approximately an 80% cost recovery of the program cost versus the amount of revenue raised by the registration of the participants. Really great number here is 374 athletes participated in baseball, whether coach, pitch, or t-ball here in Livonia. With the proposed increase for baseball, it's going to raise about, at the end of the day, $5 additional per player, $1,870 over the course of spring, summer, and fall baseball, which by my calculations roughly brings us up to a 90% cost recovery. I think that's in line, and that makes sense. I'll say for myself, it was good for me to look at the particular program numbers here to kind of see the nuts and bolts. That's not something that we normally see, the nuts and bolts of smaller programs like this. So although I was questioning initially, and I don't want to say skeptical, but inquisitive, I do think it makes sense, and I'm happy to support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President. Anyone else before we go to Director? Director Davis.
I was told once by a very smart council person, once you have an approving resolution, be quiet.
I could always,
Their initials.
I
Tease it.
could
Go
think of
ahead.
some more questions.
No, thank you, Councilman Jack.
Alrighty, well, the director has learned very quickly, and so is there anything else? Yes, go right ahead.
Just, after we take the vote on this, maybe Mr. Davis could just give us a little update on the turkey trot and let people know how they can register for that and some of the specifics.
Okey dokey.
All right.
Anyone from the audience wishing to speak to this item? Hearing and
Can I
seeing no-
change my resolution now that we've had some conversation on the,
Which one would you like to change, sir?
never mind.
Oh, I thought it was on the turkey trap, perhaps. Okay, go right ahead, Councilwoman, or Madam Clerk.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin,
Aye.
Vice President Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes. Director, would you like to give us a brief?
I would be happy. We have upcoming event, Turkey Trot, which is going to be Saturday, November 2nd. Hopefully, we have great weather at Bicentennial Park. Actually, I believe the course this year, which typically has taken us down Wayne Road all the way to 6 Mile, I believe we are going to make a left-hand turn and go through the new paved path at Tattagen Park. So that'll be nice. If you haven't been by there, please check it out, or better yet, sign up for the Turkey Trot, and we'll hopefully see you there Saturday, November 2nd. So that's a 5K, and it benefits Livonia Charities. So it's a great event, and we're looking forward to that.
What time does that start?
I believe that starts at 9 a.m.
So you gotta remember to set your alarm clocks early and get up on time to that one.
Well, if you're used to being at Livonia Park Run, it's no earlier than that. So, and I know Councilman Kritzman and Councilman Jolly are both very used to Park Run there at Bicentennial Park. So I'm just assuming that both of our council people, we're going to have strong council representation at the Turkey Trot.
Some of us stronger than others.
Well, I'll be walking, I mean, so you'll both beat me rather easily.
And, Mr. Davis, registration is online or at the parks and, or at the,
Yes, thank you. Registration is online, or you can always register at the front desk at the Jackie Kirksey Recreation Center. Open Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
very well done.
Did I got it right? I think I got it right. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney.
And I'll just say, it is really a fun event, and it's fun if you run, but it's also fun if you walk, and I think people bring canned goods for the
People
good fellows, and
bring
it's
canned
just,
goods
it's a
for the good
wonderful
fellows.
event, so, thank you again to
I'll be
Parks and
pushing a
Rec.
stroller, again,
Excellent, very good.
so
Thank you, Ted.
you'll definitely beat me then, easily.
With or without.
It wouldn't matter, you'd beat me anyway. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director. Okay, council, we're going to move on to item 9. Is there anyone from the audience wishing to elaborate more on the turkey trot or any of the rest? No? Okay. Item 9 is a request for an additional appropriation and expenditure that's brought to us from the engineering department. Do I have a motion on 9?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Meekin,
Support.
supported by Councilman Kritzman. Is there further discussion from the council? Nope. Anyone from the audience? Hearing and seeing no one, Madam Clerk, would you
Oh,
take,
hang on, she's coming.
Wait.
sorry. Oh, yeah, please, come on. Item 9 we're on, council. Good evening.
Good evening, thank you. Eileen McDonald, 36099 Brookview. I know I came at the last study session and talked about this item, and I was wrong in reference to state requirements for city government. I did some investigations, called the state, and there is, and it's up to the city for complete oversight on that. So anyway, I do know that we have a $15,000 bid level that has to be followed. And I know this project's already been underway and already probably completed by now, so it's kind of hindsight. But my question is there going to be a breakdown in the minutes on the cost on the items of this parking lot?
Mr. Zalinsik, do you want to take that, or anyone else?
With the original packet, I submitted the
Right.
breakdown. There are 6 quantities in the construction project or whatever itself. 2 of those major quantities are for paving. Almost $85,000 was related to paving, of which we had unit prices from contract 19A to get the best prices that we could possibly get for paving. So they were included in there. If any further questions, I'd be happy to answer those, but that was taken care of.
Councilman Kritzman?
Just adding to what Todd Zalinsik said, we do have a breakdown in our
Okay.
packets that shows the lot project broken out into 6 different categories, including excavation, 2 different types of pavement. We've got the underlying materials with the limestone. There's a restoration as far as seed, mulch, fertilizer, topsoil, and then the striping of the parking lot itself. So we do have that background information. And as Mr. Zalinsik stated, the vast majority of this project is based on a contract, on a contracted unit price system that is a baseline from other contracts that we've previously approved.
Okay. And then just my opinion, I know contracts and proposals and construction projects usually are pretty well, have an idea in advance. I think the city probably could have saved some money if they lumped this together in the original bid. So that's just my opinion on that. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, council, was there anything else on this? Anyone from the audience again? No?
Madam President?
Yes, please, go ahead.
I'll just, having reviewed the original bid contracts here, and the fact that this is unit pricing, that has not changed, and I think Nagel Paving has provided by far the best prices when we have bid out these contracts. I take issue with the suggestion that we would have saved more money. This is an extension of an approved contract that went through the bid process. So I take exception to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Councilman Kritzman.
Just one quick follow-up item. Related to the timing, a lot of times we don't know that we're going to be able to execute this project because the funding for something like this is the result of another project coming in under budget. So by freeing up those funds that may have been expended had there been other unforeseen circumstances or the project's contingency got used up in its entirety, if we don't use all of those funds, that's what makes it possible for us to do these smaller infill projects. So from a timing perspective, it's great to go ahead and get it all bid out ahead of time, but if you aren't able to do that, then you're spinning everybody's wheels and wasting everyone's money. So we probably have a dozen of these sort of projects that are sitting in our back pocket that we could execute at any one given time, but without knowing that those funds are going to be available, we're not gonna go ahead and do that ahead of time. So projects like this are a result of the construction season making their way through. We look at what we have available and trying to execute whatever small little miscellaneous projects we can. And having those other contracts and other unit prices already established allows us to fast track the execution of something like this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Sure, go right ahead.
And to make one final comment on this, so we don't beat a dead horse here, it's up to Todd Zalinsik, our engineer, that makes this work so fluidly. You know, Nagel was doing a project at Whispering Willows, so it made sense. We had the funds, we had the unit pricing, we had the inspectors there all at the same time. And it just makes sense. We saved over $25,000 by doing this project at this time and at this time of the year. So thank you, Todd, for all your efforts on this.
I'm going to add
go ahead.
just one more thing, if I may.
Yes.
And in deciding to extend the work that Nagel was doing on this project, Nagel being the low bidder is not an isolated occurrence. We're looking at some data that Mr. Zalinsik shared with us, just within the past year of Nagel winning 4 bids for big projects. And in each of these cases, there were multiple bidders. There were 3 bidders for Tatagen, there were 4 bidders for Compton Park Pickleball Courts, Hubbard Road Shoulder, there was 1 bid for that one, and Whispering Willows, there were 3 bidders. So in each of those cases, Nagel won the contract by being the lowest bidder. So the history's there, and again, this was an opportunity to get some additional work done because we had funding available. And had we bid out, if we bid out contracts that we didn't have funds for, and the bidder agreed, and then we didn't have the money, it would put the entire bid and the contract in jeopardy, because they bid work based on an entire contract. So then if we said, well, you gotta stop, and you can only do 75% of the work, they wouldn't then have to honor that contract, correct, Todd?
Yeah, I'd have to come back for additional funding, or we'd have to figure out,
Yeah.
you know, the
Okay.
best way to handle that, but you're correct.
Yep, thanks.
Certainly. Okay, if everyone has beat the dead horse, go right ahead, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin,
Aye.
Vice President Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes. Item 10, council's a proposed special assessment street lighting project. It's brought to us from the Department of Assessment. Do I have direction?
Madam Chair, I'll offer the approving.
Councilwoman White has offered an approving,
Second.
supported by Vice President Jolly. Was there discussion from the council? Discussion from the audience? Madam Clerk, will you take the vote on item 10?
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin,
Aye.
Vice President Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes. Council, we're under new business is a request to purchase public utility easements brought to us from the Department of Law. Do I have direction?
Madam President, I'll
Councilman.
offer an approving resolution as requested by the Department of Law.
Council Vice President Jolly is offering approving. Do I have support?
Support.
Go ahead.
Support.
Supported by Councilwoman McIntyre. Was there discussion from the council? Was there discussion from the audience? Hearing and seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you take the vote?
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McIntyre,
Aye.
Councilmember Meekin,
Aye.
Vice President Jolly,
Aye.
Councilmember Kritzman,
Aye.
President Toy.
Aye, motion passes. Council, that ends our normal agenda, if you will, for the regular. We go back to audience communication. Anyone wishing to speak to the city council on any matter that was not on the green sheet of the 11 items, if you would like to make comment either to my left or my right, and give us your name and address for the record. With that, we'd like to thank the Boy Scouts and everyone else for being here tonight. Thank you for attending, and I will entertain a motion.
Move to adjourn.
Moved by Councilwoman McIntyre, supported by Vice President Jolly, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, okay. I think we can safely show 6.
We were having so much fun, I didn't want it done.
Didn't want it.
Never